Hello, my name is Graham Chelius, and I wanted to talk to you today about chemical dependency. I've been treating people who struggle with chemical dependency for about 10 years now, and I think it's time that I started to put some advice and some information and some guidance online and in video so that after people see me or even before they see me, they get a general sense of how I think about um, chemical dependency, etc. The first thing that I'd like to say is that I typically do not use the word addiction. I think that while it's commonly used, I don't think that it's particularly helpful. If you ask somebody, you have an addiction, what do you need to do to take care of that? Well, they say, well, I need to stop being an addict. I need to stop using, right? And so they focus on the use of the chemical. If you say to somebody else, you are chemically dependent, or in other words, you're emotionally dependent on a chemical in order to cope and to just deal with life stresses, then you ask, what do you need to do? They say, well, I need to, not be emotionally dependent on the chemical. I need to be emotionally dependent on other things to cope and to deal with stress. And so they focus more on what actually is going to move them forward, which is working on coping skills and those sorts of things. And so I think that it changes the framework that people operate under as far as treating chemical dependency and thinking about chemical dependency in general. So overall, I really like to stress that chemical dependency is not about what you use, it's about why you use, okay? And the example that I like to give is, let's take somebody who is chemically dependent on alcohol, or otherwise known as an alcoholic, although I try not to use that term. Somewhat because it kind of feels like an insult, but also it again distracts from the real problem, which is the emotional dependence, not the chemical use. But anyway, if you take somebody who's chemically dependent on alcohol and they stop drinking for one day, are they no longer chemically dependent? How about a week? How about a month? How about a year? Are they still an alcoholic after they have not drank for a day or a week or a month or a year? And typically the answer is, yeah, they still are an alcoholic. And so then I follow that up by saying, so after a whole year of not using alcohol, you're still chemically dependent? And it makes people think a little bit about, okay, so it's not about staying dry or clean or sober or whatever. It's about not wanting to use. So if somebody came to me and said, I have not used heroin for a year, that is a totally different thing than saying, I haven't thought about using heroin for a year. So the person who hasn't used the chemical may still every day be struggling with thoughts of use, coping with life, those sorts of things. They may still be at high risk for relapse. Where somebody who says, I haven't thought about using heroin for a year, well, they've made a lot of progress, and obviously they've been using other coping strategies, those sorts of things to deal with life in general.